Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining us for our Monday night Take Healthy Back call. We are so excited to be here with you sharing our hearts. And really, this road to health is so simple. It's not even funny. It all starts with one choice, and that for you could be just getting on the phone tonight. So that's awesome. We are here to talk about our experiences with this amazing company called Juice Plus. And one thing that I love about it is that we are so simple. We have 4 products only, so you'll never see a catalog. And basically, we are bridge builders. So the Juice Plus is 30 fruits and vegetables in a capsule. You'll hear a little bit more about that from Michele. And it bridges the gap between what we should eat, which is 9 to 13 fist sizes of fruits and vegetables every day, and what we actually do eat, which is in America, the average is 2. And I know before we started on this health journey, some days we didn't even hit that, which is really sad and sort of embarrassing and pathetic to admit, but that's the truth. And then we have an awesome complete protein powder, which is 26 different superfoods. And it bridges the gap between the meals that we should eat a day, which is 6, and what we actually do eat, which as Americans is again 2. So that bridges that gap. And then we have an awesome tower garden, which is a 20-gallon aeroponic growing system that you can grow 28 different plants indoors or outdoors, nursing homes, schools, in your house, in your basement, in your garage, anywhere. And that bridges the gap between the produce that we do eat that isn't as nutrient dense as we would like, because here in the middle of Nebraska, our produce is trucked from everywhere and picked before it's ripe and all that. And it rots in our fridge if we don't eat it. And the Tower Garden bridges the gap between, it helps that gap as well. So we're going to hear from 2 amazing women tonight. And so Dawn, it's been so fun. I didn't know Dawn before this journey, and now I feel like I go into withdrawals if I don't hear her voice at least once a day. And so she has a daycare, which I don't know about you guys, but she has a special place in heaven, I'm sure, for owning a daycare for as many years as she has. So Dawn, will you share your heart with us?
I sure will. Hi, everybody. My name is Dawn Buman, and I have 3 sons. I am married to my husband, JB, and I've been in the child care industry for the last 24 years. My journey started with Juice Plus when I asked my friend Carissa, a former child care client, to have a salad in a jar event here at my home. And my family always ate a really good amount of fruits and vegetables, but we found out we did not need anywhere near the quantity that was necessary for our health. And so there were 5 of us here at my house, and that night 4 out of the 5 of us signed up. We thought, why not try it, because it's not going to hurt us, it's fruits and veg, right? Well, the 5th didn't sign up until July, and she still kicks herself for not starting back in February. After 10 days, Garrett, my 25-year-old, is on the autism spectrum, and he really started talking to us more. We thought we were imagining things, but then family and friends started commenting about his communication, and he just continues to improve. Obviously, he isn't cured, but I would say he's 60 to 70% better than he was 8 months ago. And after living with him so locked inside of his head and spending so much time in his room, we're definitely going to take that. And he continues to improve his diet and things that he's willing to experiment with and change. He had a diet strictly of, pizza, cereal, milk, pasta. Now it's more fruits, veg, and he loves the complete protein shakes. He will ask me every morning, Mom, I'm going to make my shake. My husband, JB, is 55, and he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease at age 22. And he's been on meds since that time, and he has had lots of side effects from his meds. And let's see, what was I going to say? Oh, he has had a colonoscopy every year for the last 16 years, and they always found something when he'd have his colonoscopy. There was always inflammation, there was polyps. This year, just at October 3rd, they found nothing. And they said that he was in complete remission, and now he doesn't have to have a colonoscopy for 2 years. And if anybody has had one, he doesn't have to drink the stuff. And
Cool.
he's thrilled.
That's awesome.
I usually have one shake a day, but he always has two. And I make those with almond milk. And he has been a huge milk lover since he was a young boy. And he doesn't even touch milk anymore. He loves his shakes. What else? For myself, I've been struggling with my weight for the past 10 years. I never had any weight problems. I'm very tall. I've always been pretty thin. And then the menopause years set in, and then I was a mess. I've had the hot flashes, the weight gain, the constipation, the headaches. And if any of you are suffering from that, you know that there's more. But depression has been a very huge part of my life for the last 18 years because my firstborn son, Donovan, struggled with ADHD as a young child and had very, very severe asthma. He was on so much medication from before the age of 2. Just the steroids they gave him, the albuterol, the inhalers, and then when he got into school, it was Ritalin, Adderall. I was young, I was a young 20s, and I did what the doctors told me. He just always seemed like he was so uncomfortable in his own skin, and as he grew into a teenager, we decided with his doctor to take him off of the ADHD meds. He hated taking them. And we just decided that maybe he outgrew it and it was time that he just shaped up and he didn't need to be on medication anymore. But you know what? Again, what we didn't change with Donovan was his diet. And that kid had an insatiable appetite for sugar. When he was 15, he started his 10-year battle with drugs. Always something. He was searching just for something that could make him feel normal. And Donovan died at age 25 from cardiac arrest that was associated with his asthma and his substance abuse. I've just been in kind of a numb state for the last 3 years, and I had no idea that when I said yes to Juice Plus, that would change my life, my husband's life, both of my other sons' lives. But what it has done for my health, and better yet, for my heart. The people in this Juice Plus community truly care about you and your family. They want to share healthy living around the world. They want to make your family better financially as well as healthy, sound inside. We went to the St. Louis conference. I took my husband and I told him he was not allowed to come if he was going to take the wind out of my sails, so to speak. And he said, no, I'll be quiet. I'll be a good boy. I'll be there. And he just was blown away by all of the women that were there with babies in strollers and in slings. And he was just like, this is such an awesome, positive community. I can really see why you love it so much. And I needed something to lift me up, and this awesome group did. I want to say yay to Team Rock. It has made me feel better. As a wife, better as a mother, better as a child care provider, a better friend. I don't sit and feel like, poor me. I sit and think, okay, whose life can I touch today and make better? And I thank you for inviting me on this call tonight and letting me share my story. And I encourage anyone out there to join our mission and take healthy back for their families.
Dawn, your story is just heart-wrenching and so empowering, and you are changing so many lives, so many more than you even realize. So it's such a pleasure. You guys, Chris and I did a lunch and learn, and Dawn is gracious enough to let me kind of drop my kids in there if we need to do a lunch and learn somewhere. And it's just incredible how these kids just absolutely adore her and are begging for shakes. And anyway, she's just changing the scope of so many lives. So our next speaker is Miss Michala Pitto, and Michele has been with Juice Plus for a long time, 12 years. And I always tease her that she's probably forgotten more about Juice Plus than I will ever know. And I really do believe that. So Michele, will you share your heart with us?
Wow. Thank you, Michele and Dawn. Oh my gosh. Every time you speak, you touch my heart, and and I felt like I knew you before St. Louis, but getting to meet you in person, I don't even know how I follow that. You talk about all the incredible benefits that you had in your family, and it's heartwarming, really heartwarming. So like Michele said, my name's Michala Pitto, and just to give you a little bit of background on myself, before I even heard about Juice Plus, I spent many years in corporate America, real estate finance, and my story kind of begins even before I had my children. I had a girlfriend when I was living down in San Diego that lost her 3-year-old to cancer. I didn't have kids yet, but it hit me as it hits all of us, right? It just shouldn't happen. And then you fast forward, I have my children, and there's this part of me that always felt like, oh my gosh, it's just random, right? So you hear about cancer all the time anymore from people, and young kids, all, just things that I didn't hear growing up. We didn't sit around the dinner table when I was young, hearing about another person that had cancer. So I was this young, mom of these young kids, and I was really scared. I just thought it was random. I mean, I knew we were supposed to eat fruits and veg. We did pretty well. Actually, we were actually pretty healthy, but I never made the total connection between the real importance of fruits and veg and disease prevention. And I'm not saying that you eat a lot of fruits and veg, you do everything right, and you still couldn't have something happen with your health. I mean, we all are smart enough to know that that's a possibility, but we know it minimizes risk. And so for me, having my 2 boys, when I heard about Juice Plus, they were 6 and 7. That was about 13 years ago now. They are freshmen and a sophomore in college. I can't believe it. I mean, it's crazy. But in all that time, they weren't sick. They weren't on antibiotics. They didn't even have issues through adolescence with real bad breakouts and such. And I know it was because what Juice Plus did to help them. I also said, I think that we really didn't have any health issues. We ate really well, but I had allergies really bad. But I didn't think that Juice Plus could help that. I mean, I just thought if you have allergies, you have allergies, right? And sometime about the first year into taking Juice Plus, I was like, people around me were like sneezing, their eyes were watering, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can breathe. And honestly, you guys, in over 10 years, I have not taken a prescription or over-the-counter med. And I'm that many years older, right? My immune system should be worse. So needless to say, I was really, really excited to hear about Juice Plus because it gave this mama some peace of mind that I was doing absolutely everything I could. My husband and my mom, however, were sick all the time, and I can't even remember the last time they were sick. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to see if I can share this. Can you guys see my screen here? Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, so just real quick, I mean, Juice Plus is simple. I mean, it's 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries. We call this the trio, right? We have the fruits, the veg, the berries. It also comes in a great tasting gummy that a lot of people love, even adults. I love it that it's safe from womb to tomb. Really, how many products out there can a pregnant woman take? And not many pass the test, or elite athletes that can't have things for banned substances. The fact that Juice Plus is so simple is amazing. Now, that being said, I've got to say I was very skeptical at first because I understood, as Michele calls it, our God's pharmacy in a capsule, right? But I thought once man touched it, he'd mess it up. I really did. And that's where the research is really powerful. And I think Michele will touch on that a little bit, maybe at the end of the call. The research blew me away to find out what it basically told me is that those nutrients were still intact. They were not damaged by the company putting them into a capsule for us, juicing it, vine ripening, and encapsulating these. And I'm not going to read all these because you guys have probably been reading them while I'm talking here. But I mean, there's things on here like, for instance, pineapple. When you think about getting this in your body every single day, it's highly anti-inflammatory. It's the bromelain in the pineapple, and they've tried to put that. They've tried to put that into a supplement, but they can't make it work. But it works in real pineapple. So highly anti-inflammatory. It's not easy to go out and get pineapple every day. And if you really thought about pushing your shopping cart through the grocery store and throwing 30 of these, all 30 of these in your cart every single day for $2.30 a day to get that, I mean, you couldn't touch it. And you can even get a child on the Children's Health Study. So 2 of you can be getting it for that. And if that's not enough, you can do what a lot of us have done and become a rep and save money on your own product, and share it with a few people if you want, or just save money on your own product. We don't care. We want to help you guys get this in you because it's helped us all so much. So the last thing I want to say on that is like beets. A lot of people can't stand beets. I mean, I love them, but I know that I'm in a minority, but they're so good for you, right? And there's more calcium in a cup of dark green leafy like broccoli or kale, more calcium than in a cup of milk. And who knew, right? So anyway, let me pass this back to you, Michele, and I just wanted to share that with you.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I love your story. And thanks for sharing with us the 30 fruits and vegetables. It still blows my mind that, we can have such a powerful product in such a little bitty capsule. So how many of you, just show of hands real quick, like to garden? Anyone? Yay, a few. Okay, so that's how my Juice Plus story began. I loved to garden. I loved being out in the garden with the kids. I loved everything about it, especially the produce. The one thing that I didn't like about it was, in our case, in the middle of nowhere, the 4.5-foot bull snake. So I don't even think I introduced myself. I'm Michala Petersen, and I'm a pharmacist from Minden, Nebraska. And I live on a ranch in the middle of nowhere with my 4 kids, age 8, 6, 4, and 3. And so back to the bull snake, I would see one bull snake and I'd be out of the garden. I mean, I wouldn't care how many tomatoes were beautiful and luscious on the ground. They would stay on the ground until my husband would come in with the skid loader and complain to me every year that this garden went to waste. So my story started with my uncle telling me about the tower garden. I asked a ton of questions. It was developed at NASA. I knew all these great things about it. It's all natural. It's vertical. You can take it anywhere with you or have it anywhere. But I didn't know how to get one. And so 2 weeks later, my good friend from pharmacy school, and I played volleyball with her at UNK, Diane Henry, posted a picture of hers on Facebook. And I messaged her instantly and said, I need one of these. When can I call you? Called her, and within one conversation, I went from never having heard of Juice Plus to being a rep for the company. As a family of 6, I wanted the best price on the product, and so $50 a year for no minimums, no inventories, and no quotas was an absolute no-brainer to me. And I was kind of resistant to Juice Plus in the beginning of the conversation until she explained to me how simple it was and exactly what it was. And honestly, when she told me that my kids could get free Juice Plus for 4 years, I really thought there was a catch. I was very skeptical. And in fact, my husband came home that night and I said, I think I might have done a bad thing today. I became a rep for this company that supposedly puts fruits and vegetables in a capsule, and I have no idea what it is. And he's like, well, what do you have to lose? I mean, that sounds amazing. So really, our family had big results right off the bat, and that led me to look at the research. Before, I didn't even care about the research, even as a pharmacist. So I had energy that was through the roof. Our 2-year-old that gagged at anything green within 2 weeks was asking for salads and eating seconds. Our 4-year-old that struggled with focus all 4 years, well, maybe not all 4 years of her life, but her talking years for sure, was crawling up on my lap and asking me to read her book after book. And our 8-month-old that needed tubes in her ears has never gotten the tubes in her ears. And as a family of 6, we've not had one single sick visit to the doctor in the last 2 years. So our bodies are perfect examples of the research coming to life. My husband was also in a bad cannon accident 3 years ago. And within about 4 weeks, he said, we will never run out of Juice Plus. His leg had not felt better, and that inflammation was completely gone from his leg. So at that point, I went, okay, I better research this. I better figure out what's in it. And I read The Birth of Juice Plus, and the creator's dad was given 3 weeks to live, went on to live for 15 years. And at that point, I messaged a mom of a kiddo with cancer, and her message back to me was, how long have you known about this, and why didn't you tell me sooner? And it was right then and there that my whole life changed. And I will never even forget what I was wearing and where I was sitting, in fact, when I read that, because I realized that I took an oath to do no harm as a pharmacist. And by not sharing this, I am doing harm. So we are just the messenger. We are definitely, nothing more than that. And so we love you enough to tell you about this, and then you can make your own decision. But so many people want to know about the company behind this great product or these great products. And so we're just going to go a little bit into that right now. Michele, I know you and I were both really skeptical for the same reason. Will you give a little bit of insight into why that was, and then talk a little bit about what getting over that has afforded your family?
Okay, so I'm laughing because, yes, I was skeptical. I told you about Juice Plus, that, man would mess that up. And then the business, I was like, oh, no, I'm just interested in taking Juice Plus. Although I quickly found myself sharing it with friends that would complain about their kids being sick all the time. Or I'd be like, well, you might want to take a look at this stuff that we're doing. It's really been awesome. And, I had this business that was born that I wasn't even looking for, honestly, because you can imagine how busy I was. But one of the big concerns I have, coming from a corporate background and such, I didn't really know what a pyramid was, but I knew that it was illegal. I didn't want any part of it. And I certainly wasn't going to tell my friends I was involved in one of those companies. I mean, it's true. Like I said, we don't have to know exactly what the pyramid is, but we know that it's not a good word, right? We don't like it. So, when you look at the shape of the pyramid, what struck me as so funny was that this was the traditional model I had been in. The CEO up here at the very top, there was only one of them, right? And then there was the middle managers, and then the worker bees on the bottom. And how often do the worker bees on the bottom actually make it to CEO? And how many people are like excited to let them take over their job on their way up? Not so much. I've always been so blown away by this company, meaning the Juice Plus company, where people are, they have nothing to do with your business or you impacting their income, and yet they're so happy to help you, because we all start at the bottom, really more of an inverted pyramid. We all started at the same place, paying our $50 and just sharing it with people. And honestly, like I said, a little bit earlier, whether somebody wants to just come in and save money on their own product, or make $500 a month, or replace their full-time income like we were able to do. I mean, what a blessing. I was able to actually stay home with those two crazy boys of mine and be on all those field trips, but yet I was still able to have this business that allowed us to replace my full-time corporate income. And also, I think even a bigger thing for me, guys, was to model for my children that they could grow up and do whatever they want to do. They knew, they watched me work, they watched me care about people and set goals, and just it was just important for me to demonstrate that to them, because I was kind of told a lot growing up, oh no, you can't do that, and you can't do that. And I think by the time we're in middle school, we lose our ability to dream. So that was a big deal for me. So I think hopefully that made sense what I said. Every traditional business model, whether it's a bank, a church, I mean, it all is that traditional pyramid shape. So it is kind of ironic. And of course, our business is a virtual franchise. We are not even a traditional network marketing company. We're a virtual franchise. And you think about, it's a distribution model. Our company could pay the shippers, the truckers, the stockers at the GNC and the Walmart, and everybody that has to touch it. And then it's going to be on a shelf, and nobody's going to know that it's really food, that it's fruits and vegetables. So that's where we come in, because we care about our friends and family enough to take the time to educate them as to what this is. So.
Yeah, that's right. You've said from the beginning that we're well-paid educators, and that is so very true. So I'm going to take a little bit of time right now here just to show everyone what the $50 when you come in to be a rep buys you. And I don't want anyone's eyes to gloss over here because it's nothing, there's no test or anything like that at the end of it. But really the bottom line is, if I wouldn't have heard this from Michele, when our circumstances drastically changed about 4 months into Juice Plus, we had a daycare incident that ultimately tugged at my heart enough that I would have never gone back down that road again of the daily grind of going to work. It would have been really, really scary for us, honestly. I made great money as a pharmacist. I'm still in the pharmacy every other Saturday, which is exactly, when I want to be there. But if I had not heard this outlined for me with Michele before then, I wouldn't have had a plan A at that point. And so literally you can move up this marketing plan as fast or as slow as you want. And that's the beauty of it. It's yours. And the really cool part of this, and Dawn just did this seemingly seamlessly. And, I think we can all vouch for, we love everyone on our team, whether they do a little or a lot. So anyway, so you pay $50 to come in as a rep, and most people have at least two friends. Does everyone have two friends, I hope? That they want to get healthier, that they know could use this powerful produce in a capsule. And so you bring two friends with you as customers, and you automatically get a $100 bonus, which is awesome. And so for me, even though in the beginning I didn't want to share it with anyone, I kind of thought, well, that's dumb. I can get $100. I might as well, help my mom and Mark's mom get healthy. And so that's the first step. That's the first step you see there. And then the second step is called VF, or virtual franchisee. And this is it used to be a $250 bonus. Now for the next 4 months, it's a $300 bonus, which is awesome. And then the third step and the top commission level in our company is called sales coordinator. And that used to be a $500 bonus. Now it's a $750 bonus. And the cool part about that is you help a few friends do what you just did, and you make $300 for each one of them getting to VF as well. And then your sales coordinator. So Dawn, you just did that. I know you were probably expecting the bonuses because you knew the marketing plan, but how did you feel getting those checks in the mail?
Oh, it's awesome, because you kind of forget, right? Because you have them settled in jars, and you're talking to people, and you're doing your thing, and you're visiting with people, and then you kind of forget, and then all of a sudden you do go like, oh yeah, I get this extra check or this bonus for really sharing and having fun. So it's pretty cool.
And I know you're the same way as I am, but what's most fun is seeing your team also succeed in that fashion, and that's way better than doing it yourself. So even in the beginning, I didn't want to share it, but I still thought, well, heck, I'm going to be at the top commission level in the company. I'd rather be getting $76 a box of Juice Plus than $39 a box of Juice Plus. And so I got there, and then our daycare thing happened. And so then I realized, holy cow, I need to kick this into gear, because I'm going to be at home. And I quickly found that Juice Plus was my passion. I had helped way more people in the short time with Juice Plus than I had in 10 years as a pharmacist. And that was incredibly powerful. And so within 17 months, I was earning the top level of the company and getting the $70,000 benefits package, which includes dental, vision, health, life, college tuition reimbursement, which Michele, you're taking advantage of that now with 2 boys in college. That's incredible. An expense allowance and a holiday bonus. So again, there's no quiz about this, but I just wanted to lay that out for you, that there is a substantial amount of bonuses that can be received in even just your first 6 months. And so that's incredibly powerful. And so the last thing that we want to end with tonight is just some things that as a pharmacist, I don't think I'm alone here. These 5 things are really the cultural building blocks of the company. And these are the things that really stood out to me as a pharmacist. And the first one is longevity. This company has been around for 23 years. There's never been a single recall or a lawsuit, which is incredible. The second is the quality. It's tested 6 times from field to capsule. It is also NSF certified, which means 3 things. It means, number 1, there's nothing on the label that's not in the capsule. There's nothing in the capsule that is not on the label, so no heavy metals or impurities or anything like that. And the third thing is it does no harm. And so for me, that was huge. The third thing is the simplicity. We mentioned the 4 products, the complete protein powder, the aeroponic growing system. We have a complete bar as well. and then the Juice Plus, of course. And then most important, it has a nutrition label, not a supplement label. And that is so important because if it says supplement on it, that means it was made in a lab by a man and your body doesn't know what to do with it. Your body has to even take a multivitamin through 12 different conversions to get it to a usable form. And so that nutrition label is incredibly powerful. The fourth is authenticity. We are who we say we are. And I would go a step further in this and say we will go where nobody has gone before. As a pharmacist, I always ask 3 questions when anyone approached me with a product, and I always thought that this was kind of fun because nobody said yes to all 3 things. I would say, is it safe in pregnancy? Is it safe in cancer and chemo patients? And would you give it to your children? And the incredible thing is that Juice Plus is studied in all of those populations. Children's Health Study is over 1 million kids strong. It was studied at MD Anderson in cancer patients, and it's also studied in pregnant women. So that's incredible. Dawn touched on the community. We totally are one team, one mission, and everyone has your back, which is incredible. And I think I was lost in motherhood, and I really just needed a place to fit in, and that is this place. It's incredible. Whether you're the newest person or the most seasoned veteran, you fit. And then the last thing is the amazing body of research. In order to get a drug approved to the market, you need 2 studies, and it only has to be 65% effective. And that has to be on the specific targeted population. And so when I found out that Juice Plus has 36 published studies with an impact factor rating of over 100, when even a good pharmaceutical drug has an impact rating of 5 or 10, it was a done deal for me. So we are so excited that you joined us on this call tonight. And we are really wellness warriors on a mission. We are absolutely raging against norm. We are raging against the norm that 600,000 people die every year of cancer. We are raging against the norm that 750,000 people die every year of heart disease. 1 in 2 Americans will get cancer in their lifetime. That doesn't have to be the norm. 2 out of 3 Americans are obese. That doesn't have to be the norm. And if we continue on the rate that we are, by the year 2032, 1 in 2 children and 80% of our boys will have autism. That doesn't have to be the norm. And it all starts with one change, one choice to put different things on your fork. And we have all chosen to use the catalyst of Juice Plus. So thank you guys so much for joining us, and we hope you have a great evening.